All right.
All right, here we go. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's K Rod here. I'm back here again with the brother, Mr. Abraham El Supernova. Um, he just recently fought at the Turning Stone Casino in Verona, New York, at the Joe Smith Jr. and Gefford undercard as a co-main, and I'm just here to chop it back up with him to talk about his fight and what's next for the future. So if you don't mind, just tell the audience of how was that experience and what's next as far as moving forward for the future.
Hey guys, I fought January 15th as a co-main event on ESPN. It was a great experience, having a fighting close to my hometown and having a big fan base there and everybody, cheering and supporting me. I had a very tough opponent, very slick opponent there, but I was able to, to adjust and get him out of there in 8 rounds. Um, after that fight, I'm looking forward to fight on Emmanuel Navarrete for the WBO World Title at 126 pounds if he takes the fight. But if he don't, I know eventually I'll become mandatory, whether he has to face me or he'll have to vacate the belt. But I'm excited. I felt good, on January 15th after my victory. I did a lot of good things, and I'm on to the next.
Yeah, got it. As far as with the fight itself, knowing that Jose Enrique Vivas was supposed to be the previous opponent, did you have any concerns about Encarnacion's fighting style? Because like just as far as how he fought in that fight, he looked like he was giving a little bit of trouble, but then you just broke him down like a puzzle, and if anything, like you actually made the fight look a lot easier. And it seems like that every time when you fight against pure boxers, you always have like a really good style as far as like pressuring them. And I was always curious to ask, do you basically execute more as a pure boxer or a pure boxer puncher?
Well, to first start off your first answer on with Jose Enrique Vivas, I was a bit disappointed. I didn't get that fight off with him. Um, I had 8 weeks or 7 weeks, training camp for a typical style, which I was gonna be a counter puncher, fighting off the back foot. But then we got William Encarnacion. So we knew we had to change up the game plan in a week. In a week of some change, we had to put in the pressure. And that's the good thing of having over 200 amateur fights. I've seen all type of styles, so I know how to adapt to any style in there. So that's exactly what I did when I fought Encarnacion. I was in there adapting, and I was able to adapt and find a way to get him out of there. As in for the fight, I do start off slow, but like you said, it's like a puzzle to me. Once I get the rhythm, I get to understanding what you're doing, everything becomes easier because I put it all together. I put my punches, I put my combos, I put my boxing IQ, my ring generalship in there, and I'm able to dissect my opponents and get them out of there. He was a very, like I said, he was a very tricky fighter, but going into fights, it all depends on what they bring because I'm a great adjuster. I could adjust to any style. So if I gotta put pressure to knock you out or I gotta box, I will find a way in my arsenal to make that happen.
Got it. Because it seems like that you're not really trying to go in for a knockout. It seems like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. You're more to try to analyze your opponent and then try to see what you can get out of him, and then if you can take him out of there, then take him out of there, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I visualize things going on. I see the mistakes you make, and I've not. If you don't make no mistakes, I make you make a mistake, and then I capitalize, and then I go for the kill. But yeah, my first instinct is not to knock you out; is to see what you're working with, see what you have. If you're making any mistakes, if I see mistakes, I'm gonna jump on it. But if not, then I'm gonna make you make a mistake so I could create an opening for a vicious knockout.
Got it. Because I really thought you were going to fight Vivas, and I thought inside my mind that if Vivas was going to be the opponent, I could have easily saw you knocking him out because it seems like his style was just tailor made for your style, and Jose Enrique Vivas. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he was not the same guy that got his butt whooped by Louis Correa that should have won that fight. And then same thing with Robson
Yo,
Conceição.
yeah,
And Louis, he basically got screwed
bruised.
over. And yeah, so I mean, in theory, you should have been fought Louis because Louis would have had those back-to-back victories.
Yes, exactly. And Louis was an option to fight, but they didn't take the fight. They have their reasons. I don't blame them. But at the end of the day, we was able to get a solid opponent with a good record, with a good IQ, and we was able to get the victory done. Like I said, I would love to fight Jose Enrique Vivas, but things happen in the boxing game, as everybody knows. There's always injuries. Now we have COVID, and it's always family matters that happen in the sport. So to answer everything that you said, Luis Courier would have been a great opponent. Based that I think he beat Enrique, Jose Enrique Vivas. I think he beat Robson Concepcion, and he's a very good, durable fighter. He had a great fight with Adam Lopez, so he would have been a great opponent. But like I don't pick opponents top rank, and the matchmaker Brad Goodman picks opponent, and they got me William Encarnacion, and I feel like I did exactly what I was supposed to do with him. I look strong. I look intelligent in there, and I got the job done in good fashion.
Yeah, most definitely. And I really wanted to just ask you this, like as far as at the weight, do you feel more comfortable fighting at 126 or better at 130 and above? Because from the first fight that you had at 126, that opponent that you fought was like a very durable um, opponent, and I kind of felt like that you were a bit drained in that fight. But then heading into this fight, you look absolutely the same thing, and like I'm saying that as far as like what you did at 130, you're doing the same thing at 126. So um, like I would assume that you're going to try to get a belt at 126 and then move back up and then do the same thing.
Yeah, so at 126, you're absolutely right. The first fight at 126, I was a bit drained. I didn't I cut the weight properly. I just didn't rehydrate properly. And
Oh,
me and my team, we got back and we did some adjustments. That's why you see in this fight, I was a lot bigger, a lot hydrated. I was more back myself because I did things correctly. And this all a trial and error. You go through this process. You mess up here, then you fix it. You mess up here, and you fix it. These last two fights, I had some trial and errors, and I fix it. You'll see by the third one, it'll be a spectacular supernova in there at 126 pounds, and everything will be corrected because I went through this process. I learned from my mistakes, and now I'm moving on. And I know at 126, I'll be a big fighter. I'll become world champion at 126. Then after that, I move up to 130, become world champion there, and then I move up to 35, become world champion, and the list goes on until I'm at 160. But the goal is to become, a six-time divisional champion, and that's the goal for me. And the first goal and foremost to become a world champion, 126 pounds.
got it. Because I assume that's what that's what you were intending on doing,
Yes.
and I'm pretty sure if there's big opportunities for like title unification fights, I assume do you want to go for like a couple paths for undisputed or just basically go straight into prize fighting?
So it all depends. At 126, I know I can't hold it for that long, so I want to become a champion. Once I become a champion, I'll probably do one or two the most title defenses, and then I move up to 130, and then from there, how my body reacts. Let's see how long I can stay there. If not, I get a title, do a defense or not, and move up to 35. But it's all how my body reacts on the weight and how long I could hold it for. I know I'm a big 26 pounder and I'm a big 30 pounder, so we'll see how long my body could withstand this weight and how long I could make this happen.
Got it. Because correct me if I'm wrong, you don't really come in with any size disadvantage because like most of your fights that you fought in, you pretty much came in bigger than the opponent that you fought. So
Yeah,
theoretically, you basically dog walk everybody.
exactly, exactly. Like I said, I'm a huge fighter. At a 126 and 130, even at 135, I have the height, I have the strength. I have everything, to compete at those higher weight classes. And like I said, I'm a bully to these 26, 30, 35 pounders.
Got it. Because people say Sean Porter, he's a weight bully, but like when we look at all these other small weight divisions, especially at 126 and lower, like you got guys like Naoya Inoue knocking people out. But then it's like, like when people say that he got to move up in weight and face guys just as big as him, it don't seem like anybody cares. But, for guys like yourself, like people always want to come up with all these weird, assumptions. And like all these weird critiques to say that this fighter is fighting guys that are smaller than him. And I was actually happy that you made like a very great point at the post fight interview about Navarrete, that he fights guys that are smaller than him, because I haven't seen a fight where he's actually fought anybody just as big as him.
Exactly. That's why I had to bring that up. And that's why I feel like the fight with me and him will be a lot different, because he's gonna fight somebody his size, somebody who has dangerous power, and somebody who has great boxing IQ. And I know if we get it on, it's gonna be a whole different ball game. So I'm excited if they make the fight happen. I'm very confident myself. A lot of people don't think I'm ready for this fight, but like when am I gonna be ready? I'm 20 years old. I'm being this guy that they put in front of me. Let's make the fight happen.
Yeah, and I always hate it when people say, fights should be marinated more, and that's what usually ends up turning into like a really huge, political battle of trying to make all the big fights happen. Because if boxing is all about the best fighting the best, then shouldn't you get these guys in there, at the very beginning of their like starting prime age?
Yeah.
So, because I heard you say, in the past, I think it was to kind of local sports, saying that you were supposed to get a title shot at like 26 years old, but then Top Rank didn't do that for you, and then just out of nowhere, it seems like that you have to demand these big fights, and people aren't going to, you know, actually do their jobs to give it to you.
Exactly. You got we as fighters, we got to take action of our career and what's happening. A lot of time we want to give everybody the hand, but the power to take over our career. But no, it's not like that. We got to take power and control of our career. It's our career. So me waiting for Top Rank or my management or anybody to make the fight happen, I'll be waiting forever. So I say, hey, after this fight, after I beat this dude, once they give me the microphone, I'm gonna call the champion now, because that's what I want. I've been ranked number 3, number 2 in the world for all these years. It's time for me to fight for a title. And I feel like I have the skills. I feel like I beat everybody they put in front of me. I haven't said no to one opponent they put in front of me. I do not pick my opponent. I never say no to anyone they give me. I fight you and I beat you. That's exactly what I do, because I'm a fighter and I believe in myself. And I believe 100% I could beat Emmanuel Navarrete, whether you guys don't believe in it because of my last and previous performances. I know what I'm capable of doing. I know what I have. And I know I have the power, I have the IQ, and I have the will, and I have the intelligence to beat this dude. He's another human being just like me, but I know I have that dog in me, and I have what it takes to beat him.
Yeah, and I truly believe it, because I don't think Navarrete has really ever faced like a dog like yourself, and I can easily see that fight ended up like in a late round stoppage or early round stoppage. But as far as
Regardless
like
of stoppage, anything, anyway, you're gonna see my hands being raised. I'm gonna win by all means necessary. If he gets disqualified, if I have to do something, if it doesn't matter what it takes. At the end of the day, I know how to win, and that's my best attribute. That I find a way to win. And coming to that fight with him, whether it's a knockout, whether it's a decision, whether it's a technical knockout, whether it's an elimination, disqualification, regardless what it is, an injury, headbutt, I'm gonna win, because I know how to win, and that's what I'm good at. I win at everything I do. I'm a winner, and I don't lose. If anything, I learn, but I do not lose.
I believe it. Could you explain like the feud that Navarrete's fans had about you, saying that Navarrete would beat you up, and like you're not good, and like all this weird
I don't I,
political.
I don't blame them. I don't blame
Yeah.
them, because I don't blame them. That's their fan. They're their fans. They believe in him. They want him to win. They're gonna say whatever they want to say to make me feel that I'm not gonna win. But they don't understand that just gives me more fuel, more energy to prove them wrong. I love proving people wrong, and I love proving myself that I could do something. When I put my mind to it, I always get it done. So I know, when the fight happens, the fans not gonna fight for him. His family's not gonna fight for him. Nobody's gonna fight for him. It's gonna be me and him in the ring, and the best man's gonna win. And I believe firmly that I'm the best man, because I have all the better attributes. I'm a more polished fighter. I'm a more intelligent fighter, and I do everything better than he does. And that is gonna allow me to win, and also my will.
Wow. Those are some cold words and strong words. But I also need to ask, as far as like how this fight would ever be promoted, do you see this fight to be a traditional Mexico versus Puerto Rico fight, or will this be viewed as just a, typical Mexican versus black person fight, because it seems that, like when people always bring up race in boxing, they always like to create these, mega divides to try to keep fighters, under certain fighters. And I think for a fight of this magnitude against Navarrete, his fans are going to be very discriminatory to say you're not on his level, and we Mexicans, like we have better fighters, blah blah blah. And I think this is gonna be, one of what the more, interesting fights that a lot of people are not going to shine onto.
Look, regardless, people's gonna say what they want to say. Whether they say it's a Puerto Rican versus Mexico, black versus Mexico, white versus Mexico, it don't matter. They're gonna say what they want to say. I know what I bring to the table. I know I'm Puerto Rican, Dominican, and that's gonna be Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic versus Mexico. That's just what I bring. I bring my style. I bring Abraham Supernova to the ring, and that's Abraham Supernova's gonna beat Emmanuel Navarrete. That's exactly what's gonna happen. They can say whatever they say I am. I know what I am. I know where I come from. I know my history. Like I always tell everyone, my parents are Dominican, but I was born in La Isla del Encanto, Puerto Rico. I was born there, but my parents are Dominican. So regardless of what you want to judge me and based on where I'm from, that's your opinion. I know who I am and I know what I stand for. I'm a Puerto Rican fighter with Dominican parents who's gonna fight a Mexican fighter and that's gonna win.
Yeah, because I obviously don't care because I care about like my heritage, but I just wanted to bring that up because a lot of people always make that type of excuse for these fights not to happen. And when you do beat Navarrete, or whenever you do get up to that level, people are going to try to make it like excuses to say, "Oh, well, he was too green. He wasn't, at his highest peak, and this guy was just heavily skilled in whatever world that he came from." And they try to make it seem like that you're the villain and he's like the hero,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I can compare it with Shakur Stevenson. Everyone thinks that he's not the greatest fighter out there, but then when he calls out for all these big fights, it's like people just stay silent. So they kind of treat it similar to what Floyd Mayweather was doing back in his heyday by being the villain and trying to get all these big fights and have people come out to his events to try to see him lose. And I think that's what's happening right now. I think a lot of people don't want to see another Floyd Mayweather type fighter come up and basically do the same exact thing. So do you ever have that type of feeling in the back of your head, like where when you do get up to that high level, people are always going to try to down you to try to prevent that type of timeline?
No, at the end of the day, I don't really care because, like I said, people's gonna think what they want to think. They're gonna believe what they want to think. I just gotta do my part and fight and win. There's gonna be haters. There's gonna be lovers. That's how the world is ran. The world is ran by positive, negative energy. There's people that's gonna like you for no reason, and there's people gonna like you for no reason. There's people gonna hate you for no reason. You don't gotta do nothing. This is how the world is ran. This is how the world is works. So, me trying to please the fans and do this for them, I do my best. All I can do is be myself. Whether you like me, you do. You don't, you don't. I'm a fighter, and I fight for myself and for my family and for the fans that appreciate me. And this is what I do. So I can't please the world. I can't please everybody. All I can do is be happy and do my best.
Got it. I also wanted to ask, as far as of the trainer situation, what happened to the original trainer, and why did you why did you make the switch with Mark DeLuca?
Me and Mark DeLuca, we had a connection, for since I moved up to Boston when I was 19, 20 years old. I always looked at him as a mentor, as a role model, and he always helped me out in boxing. Me and my ex trainer, we split. There's many reasons. Just things fall out. There was the chemistry was dying between me and him. Nothing personal, nothing bad. He's still a great trainer. He's a good dude. It's just chemistry. The chemistry was falling out, and I needed a better bond. With someone else, and that's what happened. I had a better connection with Mark DeLuca, a good bond, a good understanding, and me and him we're gonna grow together and be great. Not taking no slouch from Hector Bermudez. He's a great trainer. He does what he got to do for his fighters. It's just that um the chemistry dies out, and that's what happened. The chemistry died out. Much respect to him as he did. I appreciate everything he did in my career. He's a great trainer, He knows, he taught me a lot of things, but it's time for me to to move on in my phase in my life, and move on to better things. With my new trainer, Mark DeLuca, who also is a active world class fighter as we speak. So now we got an active world class fighter training another active world class fighter, something that's never been done in the history of boxing.
Oh wow, so that's historic.
Yes.
But as far as like what Mark brings to the table, what's different working with him compared to what you did with Hector Bermudez? Could you, explain to the audience, like what type of fundamentals have you learned through
Yeah,
him?
yeah. So this, I'm at a level. This is not a lot that you could teach me. It's a lot that you could remind me, so I won't forget. Um, what I like about Mark is his discipline. Mark is so former veteran. He was in the military. He fought in Afghanistan and all that stuff. So he has a very tight structure, very disciplined, and he brings that into the table with me. He has me being very disciplined, very responsible in my career, and understanding there's no time for playing. Everything's on time. There's a structure. What's going on? We know everything that's happening in camps. That's one thing I like from Mark. He brings that character and that discipline to my training camps and my career, and that's why I like that he does a lot.
Got it. Do you train, out back in Boston, right? And if so, I assume that do you travel to like other parts of the nation to travel like to train with like high class fighters to get ready for more bigger fights, leading
Yes,
up.
yes, of course. I train in Boston, Massachusetts. I train at the gym at Everybody Fights. Um, I train there, and I get the job done. If we gotta travel for better sparring, we travel all around the world or all around the country. And if we gotta bring sparring in, we pay fighters. We bring them in, we sit them in a hotel, and we get that work. But at the end of the day, we do anything that we have to do to make sure I'm ready. I'm ready to perform on fight night.
Got it. As far as the promotion goes with Top Rank, have they done like a good job with trying to move you to the right direction?
Yeah,
Uh, could you explain to the audience of how that experience has been?
yeah, Top Rank has you guys know, have you guys seen? They're they're one of the best companies, at moving fighters and bringing them to the world title. They have the legends has Manny Pacquiao, Oscar De La Hoya, Floyd Mayweather, Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali. They have all the greats, and they know how to bring fighters, to that level, and they're doing a great job with me. As I'm telling you, the Navarrete fight, if it doesn't get closed now, it will get closed by the end of this year. And they're doing a great job. I'm ranked number 2 in the world. And my title shot's gonna happen. Like I said, I had a bit of a layoff because of my injury, but other than that, I'm back rolling and Top Rank. They got high hopes and good things for me in the near future.
Nice. As far as the title situation, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know if it's gonna happen. But if you could give me the information, that would be good. I was hearing that Navarrete said the other day he wanted to move up to 130 to challenge Oscar Valdez for his belt, and I was hearing that he could vacate, but if that was going to be the case, who would be that guy right behind you that you would fight for the vacancy if that were to happen?
Um, so as of right now, yes, I heard he's moving to 130. I'm not sure yet. I don't know what's happening because I heard Shakur fighting on Valdez. So it's a lot of things going on in the air that's not accurate. That I don't know what's going on. But if it is vacant, I will fight the number 2 guy, which I don't know who it is to be honest, or the number 3 guy, which I don't know, or the number 1 guy. I don't know who they are, but I'll fight them, for the vacant title.
Sweet. Because do you believe that Navarrete knows a lot about how you fight, and he's not being as vocal about you?
No, of course he's not gonna be vocal about me because I'm a high risk, low reward. Now I'm not really known out there. People don't really know me out there, but everybody knows I can fight. So him fighting me, he'd be like, "Man, this is a very tough, difficult fight." But I'm not gonna get a reward. I'm not gonna get a big reward, And if he beats me, like, damn, man, he lost to this dude. Who is the dude? Like I said, I'm not really known out there, But I feel like me being him would put me on the map, and then me being him would also destroy him because that man, this kid came out of nowhere. He lost to this kid who nobody knows, and so I understand why he doesn't want to put a lot of attention to it because I'm somebody that's coming from the bottom and nobody really knows. But regardless, if the fight doesn't happen, I'll become world champion because regardless if he fights or not, I'll fight. He'll have to vacate, and I'll fight for the vacate title.
Yeah, because how I see that fight playing out, I could easily see you just beating his ass, and he would just get beat to the punch every single time. Because even like I don't know if you watched his last fight against Joet Gonzalez, but Joet, he was like touching him up.
No,
You
but
know,
Joy had good defense, was touching him up, putting pressure. Hurt him a couple times. And Joet is nowhere near the fighter that I am. No disrespect to Joet, but I'm more of a well-rounded fighter. He has one style. I could box, I could put pressure, I could fight in the inside, I could fight in the outside. I could do it all. I feel like I have more in my toolbox than he does. But yeah, Joet gave him a tough time, and I could just imagine myself in there with him. I'm gonna move on them and I'm gonna, put pressure on them and I'm gonna have them thinking the whole night. And I also, I pack heat. I got a lot of power, and you gotta respect that.
yeah, because it seems like Navarrete, he basically benefits off of these weird awkward punches where he gets fighters, to a very awkward position, like as far as them, being in a certain like footwork position, and then when he hits you, then he pushes after you, and then he tries to go in there and try to knock you out. Other than that, he really has nothing else. He has no boxing ring IQ, he has no defense, and he has horrible footwork.
Yes.
So, if
And
anything,
regardless everything you said, he ain't beating me. That's it. He ain't beating me. He ain't beating me. Yeah, I'm not losing to. No, I mean, I'm not losing to somebody like who punches and fight like that. He's not beating me. Yeah, he is effective with the fighters he fight, but it's not gonna be effective with me because I'm gonna see all those loopy shots. I'm gonna see all of that. I have good eyes and have a good understanding what's gonna happen in the ring because I have good experience. But like I said, he ain't beating me. That's not happening. So yeah, it's over for that.
sweet. I hope that fight is next. But I wanted to also ask you about like the state of boxing at your division. I wanted to get your take on the Gary Russell Mark McSile fight.
Yeah, Gary Russell, he's a beast. He fought him with one hand. I feel like he won the one. I feel like he won the fight. Fight with one hand. I think he landed the vicious, clear, effective shots. But the judges do what they got to do. He fights, once every 2 years. I think it was more a political side why he lost that fight, but not because I think he was beaten. I don't think he was beaten, but he's a good fighter, and I would like to fight him. Not. Well, I would still like to fight him, but I would like to fight him even more when he was world champion. But now, he's not. So we on to the next.
Yeah, I was devastated when he lost. But as far as like the division as a whole, it seems like that division is pretty much like wide open. For a lot of up and coming talent, including you, to take that over. And I just wanted to just get your thoughts about those other fighters because it seems like that you pretty much have like the complete style to take everybody out if you really wanted to.
Yes, yes. With the Leo Santa Cruz, Kiko Martinez, Manu Navarrete, this new guy that beat Gary Russell. I'll beat all those dudes. There's no question at all. Those dudes I have the power, I have the skills, I have everything to beat these dudes. I just gotta be prepared and be at my best. So, come fighting it. But like I said, I could beat these dudes. These dudes are not messing with me. I'm gonna strap my title, get a couple of defenses, and I'm on next to 130.
Got it. Because I wanted to, follow up with another question as far as like, the other fights down the line. Who would you say that would be like the biggest and toughest fight for your career heading into the future?
To be honest, I can't give you an answer for that because you just never know. Style makes fight. So going in the ring in there, you never know. There could be somebody who people won't think is that good, but because his style probably be complicated for me. But so you never know with that boxing. So I can't give you an answer for that until I get in the ring with them.
Got it. As far as the fan base goes for Puerto Rican and Dominican fan base, do you ever plan to try to make fights out there in the future?
I fought in Dominican Republic, a couple times. So I'm satisfied with that. But I would love to have a fight in Puerto Rico. I haven't had a fight there. I think Top Rank wants to make something out there with me. So hopefully in the near future, we can have a fight out there in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, because the reason why that I bring that up is because Top Rank has created some all Puerto Rican fight cards, and I think that would be good to see you in it because they had one down in Florida, and then I think they're gonna do another one upcoming March for Edgar Berlanga and Xander Sayas.
Oh yeah, they're doing that Madison Square Garden, but I mean fighting in Puerto Rico. I don't mean the Puerto Rican card. I mean fighting in Puerto Rico.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
yeah.
I'm looking for. Fight in Puerto Rico. That's something I'm looking for. Yeah, I fought on Puerto Rican card, but I'm looking more forward to fighting in the country.
Yeah. Do you think, as far as like the fighters coming out of both islands, do you think that they scale better coming over to the U.S. to develop their skills, or like do you think that they need to just have better influence and training with certain trainers?
It's all on the fight and the relationship you have with your trainers and stuff like that. Because we can deny we got Miguel Cotto came out of straight Puerto Rico. Tito Trinidad came straight out of Puerto Rico. Hector Macho Camacho came out straight out of Puerto Rico. And then we have other fighters. Omega Berlanga coming from the U.S. and there's Zai coming from the U.S. Puerto Rican fighters. So you never know. That's an answer that I can't give you. Like I can't give you an answer because you just don't know. We have greats that came from the U.S. and we have greats that came from Puerto Rico. So it's just based on who you are, what you bring to the table, and your relationship with your trainer.
Yeah. And as far as you for what you want to do for your legacy, you want to basically paint a really huge mark on like what you've done, and how much work that you've sacrificed into the game, I assume.
Big time, big time.
Yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to ask those questions, but do you have any final words that you want to give to the audience?
Final words is that I'm beating Navarrete's ass. So everyone
Navarrete.
whoever's doubting me and don't believe in me, you guys gonna see. You guys gonna see. You guys could judge me based on my last performance or my other fights. You guys could judge me, but you guys don't know what I'm really capable of doing. I'm gonna be ready. And I'm gonna be sharp, and I'm gonna beat him if he gives me the opportunity.
Mexico versus Puerto Rico. Don't forget, guys.
Don't forget.
All right. Thank you very much, my brother. I appreciate you, and I can't wait for what's next. And that's it. No
Yes,
fear.
sir. No doubt. Thank you for the interview. Thank you for everything. My boy K Rado was kicking it in with me. Supernova Entertainment doing big things. I'm out of here, guys. Peace.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right.
All right. That's pretty much it. I just wanted to get Mr. El Supernova back on live, but I appreciate you guys a lot. G5 Gabe said he was at 130, but then moved down. They were screwing him on championship fights while he was ranked at 130. Yes, and I was going to ask him that, but I think that pretty much answered it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, if y'all want to come in and chop it up with me, feel free. But I'm just gonna give some extra boxing news that I have on my mind, and I'm not so sure if it's true though. But I heard that Mr. Devin Haney said that if he cannot get the George Kambosos fight, he said he's gonna move up to 140 and face Gary Antoine Russell. Okay. See, now I love Devin Haney, and Devin Haney, he's a homie, but I think Gary Antoine Russell, that's a bad style right now because, if he gets past Victor Postal and then he goes ahead and fights Devin, I think Devin at 140, just to be introduced to that division, to a Gary Antoine Russell, I don't like that, man. But I just figured that I share the news on that because I was very shocked, and I was hearing that from the grapevine, but I'm gonna probably cover a actual video on it to get that settled, and then after that, I'll probably just definitely move out with more upcoming videos and just follow up with more updates that I see here and there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll be chopping it up with maybe G5 Gabe, maybe, but I believe he said he'll go live. But that's about it. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see y'all later. Long live the 518, long live Puerto Rico, and long live the LDBC and the Dominican Republic. All right. Thank you guys very much. And I will see you guys later. And peace out. Bye.